Hi, so today I want to go over mini trees, actually bonsai trees, and how helpful they can be in your nature journaling or drawing trees study. So this happens to be what they call a made-in-here tree, or better known to me as a ginkgo tree. And they grow in colder climates. I don't see them here in the South. But up north, I was able to see them if you ever get to Pittsburgh at the Phipps Botanical Gardens. They have two, I believe, in front of the gardens. They're a beautiful tree, obviously golden yellow to green leaves, and they look like fans. So if you could see this little diagram, they're beautiful. They have a lightish gray uh, I guess here it's showing beige with some moss or fungi in it. But in this ID book, you can see the leaves better and the very grooved in trunk, sorry, the branch, the trunk of it, the bark. And it may change with age because sometimes it's identified a little bit different. But this was the Audubon ID. This one is the Sibley Guide to Trees, with some beautiful drawings, but it shows different types of leaves. This one has an indentation. This one doesn't. The fruit, um, the changing colors of the leaves, so it can go from a very yellow green to more of a golden warm yellow. I do like these drawings. This shows the different types of bark. Um, this is the younger bark, and then as it gets older, it's more pale gray and furrowed or grooved with flattened edges. So it's good identification for nature journaling. I do love these drawings. It's showing how the leaves come out into groups and that they're opposite of each other on the branches. A winter tree with no leaves, and then the branching and how the buds are uh, alternate on these little branches. So it gives me information. I have a lot of books, but I want to show you that this study, which bonsai trees, if you can look at these drawings, um, which is done in pen and ink in bonsai dishes, is a very artistic form. But what I like about it is I can't always see the trees that are very tall. So studying these potted trees really helps me. So I thought we would kind of just talk about that and use this particular bonsai tree, which came out of a book, just to kind of get the feel for how to draw it. So it's a ginkgo tree. This one's a very stylized one, and bonsai artists spend time wiring the branches and the trunks to get different styles of trees. So I thought this one was rather good because it's a vertical tree, much more like what you would find in nature. So to measure, you could take a ruler. There are special tools that artists use. So let's just take the ruler, and I would place it at the top of the tree. Make sure I have the measurements. And I would measure from top maybe to the bottom of the trunk, which comes to about 9 inches. And then I would figure out where I want to place that onto the paper. And I would just hash mark it here. So I really like these see-through rulers. Let's see. It's hard for me to see right now. So let's see. Just having some difficulty here seeing. Oh, okay, it's about right. And then, a good rule of thumb is just to kind of get some measurements across. So this is maybe 2.5. You could draw a vertical line just to keep it straight. So if it's 2.5, um, and then these are just nice guidelines for me. This one might be a little wider, 3, so 3.5. That way. And always make sure you get the widest. So here it's almost 4. So it's getting a little bit bigger as it goes down. And then, of course, make sure you get the measurement of where the leaf is the furthest down. And then you can see the trunk running all the way through the base, but maybe this would be a good measurement, maybe from the bottom up. Whoops. So there are dividers that artists use. And maybe just, we're going to bring this out just to indicate it right now. And there isn't too much. I always look at the negative space in between. And then let's see what this measurement is right here. So you don't have to measure, but this is a good study for actually observing this tree. So it's a little bit skinnier here. So you could take measurements. I mean, botanical artists definitely measure this. I'm going to make it a little bit skinnier here. And what's nice is if it's pencil, right, we can clean it up. And then let's go back to this little branch coming up. And I can work on details of the shape a little bit too. There, not too hard. Kind of look at the branching. There's smaller leaves you can't really see, so I would just indicate a few of them, and they almost look like some kind of flattened triangle. You could use a magnifying glass. And then obviously, as it moves down, you're going to see some bends and curves in it and indicate. So sometimes a tree like this that has so many leaves, for practical purposes, I might not indicate them all. And then, of course, more as you get towards the bottom, you can see the shape of it. And if you can't, magnifying glasses are really good to use. Some of these actually look like butterfly shapes. And I would do that. Or you could go right to the ink and you could draw it and indicate it. So when I get to maybe the painting piece of it, I'd really add maybe some green to it to indicate the moss growing on the tree. That might be a characteristic of this tree as well. Little movement in there, getting a little dark. And that's basically how I would use it. And then I would write down, what do I notice? There's a lot of leaves. Are they kind of big for a bonsai. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they will grow proportionate to it. Um, what I like is it even tells the type of bonsai style that could be created. So I would continue drawing this and then move on to the next step. So why don't we finish here with the pencil, and then the next video, I will add the ink and hopefully the watercolor. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like it. And let me know what you think about trying to use a little bonsai tree. I know Home Depot usually carries some ficus. They don't last long, and a lot of times they get different diseases, but they're quite fun. Here, I even have one that um, has died, and it makes for an interesting drawing if you want to study what a tree would look like maybe in winter. You can also order bonsai trees, which can be very expensive online, and then study sometimes from photographs. But I think if you could get some trees and look at them up front, what a wonderful way to study trees. So join me again, and thanks for being here.